So when a client calls you after receiving a demand letter or a claim, what are the first one to two things you tell them to do? And what are the first one or two things you tell them not to do?
Well, first, I generally prefer they don't do anything rash or immediate, that they give me and maybe an accessibility firm like UsableNet a chance to take a look at the condition of the website at that point in time. Um, we have had clients, I mentioned the widgets earlier. We have had clients that come to us after receiving a claim and they've already gone out on their own and, you know, added a widget, something that is a less expensive tool. And I have to break the news to them that that's not really a complete solution. And in fact, it could make you more of a target for claims. So then they get a little frustrated. They've already spent some time and money, adding that to the website only to be told it's probably not going to help, avoid these claims. So I prefer that the businesses at least, take a pause, let us take a look at it, and try to come up with the best strategy. And if it is a demand letter or claim, not yet a lawsuit, I actually ask the business to investigate whether with their own IT people or an outside consultant, such as your firm, how quickly and what would need to be done to fix the alleged accessibility issues. If they can be addressed and resolved pretty promptly before a lawsuit's filed, and then they do file a lawsuit or they come back again to follow up, we could say, well, the claim is moot. We already, provided the relief you were seeking. So, and that could be a valid and effective defense.
You bring up some good points. I think the last point you brought up around if you are able to mediate some of the barriers or violations called out in the claim, it actually allows you to moot the claim, which I've heard from other lawyers. I don't think most companies are thinking about that because I
Mhm.
speak to a lot of companies once they get a lawsuit, whether it's through you or another lawyer or just they inbound through our marketing channels. And they're maybe sitting on it for a few weeks to a few months, and they're not trying to take action using a free tool, for example, on some of the small things that have been called out. And that can
Mhm.
make a big difference. And I would imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck, I would imagine that can make a big difference in being able to moot the claim, which it sounds like it is, or at least drive the settlement cost down.
Yes, yes, I completely agree. Yeah, absolutely.